No, this is not Cuban. Got in Disney World in 2018. It's been humid ever since. I wanted to reiterate why I am boycotting the 2021 Olympiad. Okay, first and foremost, I said a year ago that China should not compete, and I would boycott if they did, and I am. Okay, Germany was allowed to host in 36, and that was a huge propaganda win for them, and we know how that turned out. South Africa. South Africa practiced segregation, and they were banned for many years from the Olympics. Okay, China is like a combination of Soviet Union and Nazi Germany. They have concentration camps. They have slave labor. They have suppression of speech. They have annexation of territories, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Tibet. Cuba. Don't have a lighter, I use the stove. And they should not be competing, period. Also, look at our athletes. BLM supporters, Antifa supporters, raising money for the bail funds, turning their back on the flag, kneeling during the anthem. The gymnastics team, Michaela Skinner is the only woman that is not a BLM supporter. None of the men support BLM, okay? Look at the women's soccer team. It's a disgrace, okay? Look at that bitch that turned her back on the flag, okay? Look at all this shit going on. Alright? So you have Cuba having an uprising now. You have Hong Kong, which has uprisings every 5 minutes, here and there. You have Taiwan, Tibet, okay? South Korea, they all live in the shadow of communism. Okay. Now, many, many years ago, you would see the American athletes and the Canadians and the British and the Australians, okay? And athletes of free countries. And you would see these athletes of free countries that would set an example. This wonderful flag, all the freedoms they have, okay? Even though most athletes didn't make money playing the games, they would go back to America, Australia, England, whatever, and sign endorsement deals. And endorsement deals today are like 10 times what they were in the 90s, okay? Okay? Yeah. So, they were. So, yeah. So these endorsement deals, but telling them smoke a couple times a year, right? So these endorsement deals, and you see people from Soviet Union, China, Cuba, Romania, and they would be like, wait a minute, I want to be an American. Okay, most of them did not defect during the games because it was too risky, but they defected after the games, a month later, a year later, whatever the hell it was, an off year. Okay, they would have some Olympic gymnasts will be on tour in some country a year after the Olympics and defect. Okay, ballerinas defected, gymnasts defected. Okay, many people defected from communist nations. because they saw the example the American people set for them. Okay? Look at the Corollis. Yes, they're scumbags, and personally, I know that, okay? But the Corollis were Romania's prize pigs. Now they became American coaches, and obviously they got the scandal going on with the abuse of the girls, all that bullshit. But just look at cold hard facts, okay? American gymnastics is the way it is now. For an example, because most of the coaches are from communist countries, China, Romania, Soviet Union, okay, stuff like that. All right, they defected and came here and became great coaches and inspired the next generation of Americans. Now you got Americans, Simone Biles is one of them, I don't give a fuck, I'm not gonna apologize for that, okay, who support BLM, hate cops, support the bail funds, okay. The soccer players kneel to the flag, bend over for the flag, turn the back to the flag, all the bullshit, okay? And there's a lot of that going on. That is propaganda for the Communist Party, okay? Because the Communist Party was deathly afraid. The Communist Party, even when the Olympics were held in America, the communist countries would have the secret police come with the athlete to wherever the games were. The athlete would be locked in their room and only allowed to go out of their room to compete or practice. They weren't allowed to go sightseeing. They weren't allowed to go to the Olympic Village. They weren't allowed to meet the fans. Okay, they had to be under guard. It was also at the least bit uncommon for the Communist Party, if they couldn't send the KGB or whoever the secret police were, the Communist Party would show the athlete pictures of their mother in the garden, of their little sister in school, of their brother on the playground. And the Communist Party would tell the athlete, make sure you come home, because we know where your mother lives, we know where your sister lives, we know where your brother lives, we know where your nephew goes to school, okay? Now the Communist Party has propaganda, okay? They didn't have propaganda in the 80s and 90s, okay? Because in the 20th century, Americans were patriots, okay? Now they have propaganda, okay? Look at the Americans, okay? Their country is so evil, they don't even want to stand for their own flag. Look at the Americans. The police brutalize them so bad, okay? They raise money for the protesters, okay? Look at the Americans. The police mistreat black people. Look at the, okay? That's what they do. The Communist Party is going to point directly at the athletes, our athletes, their behavior, and it's going to be a propaganda win. Cuba, Russia, which was once Soviet Union, it could be very well again. China, North Korea, even Iran, or other countries that are of a different mentality, other than communism, but nonetheless totalitarian. Okay, they look at the propaganda. No. They look at the propaganda of the American athlete being a piece of shit. And that is respect for them, okay? They also look at the fact that China, between the COVID virus, between the slave encampments, between the concentration camps, the Uyghur Muslims, okay? China is allowed to compete. And you would think that 50 countries would boycott. Don't forget, Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter may very well be the worst president in American history. And even Jimmy Carter, in 1980, boycotted the games. He boycotted the games. Okay, that's Jimmy Carter. That's not Ronald Reagan. That's not Dwight Eisenhower. That's not Harry Truman. That's Jimmy Carter. Okay, so, and he led a boycott, and the boycott was followed by many nations. Okay, and many nations across the globe boycotting the Olympics to stand up against communism. Okay? And now we've got Olympic athletes that are getting on their fucking knees and bending over and just absolute pieces of shit, okay? I don't give a fuck. They are scum, okay? And the Communist Party is going to look at China being allowed to compete. It's all the bullshit they did. The Communist Party is going to look at all the American athletes with their behavior, their disgusting behavior, and it's going to be the biggest propaganda win since fucking the fall Saigon. Okay? And I've had hours. So I've had athletes that I've loved my entire life, okay? Downing Ochan, my favorite gymnast, okay? Daughter of Romanian immigrants, okay? Goddaughter of Nadia Comaneci, okay? Shannon Miller, okay? Cancer survivor, my personal twin, okay? And these people are dead silent. They have not said one word about boycotting Olympics. In fact, they're actually watching Olympics, okay? Your boycott send a message, okay? You want to be an American? Act like an American, okay? Everyone wants to be an American and doesn't act like one, okay? You go to Hong Kong. In Hong Kong, last year, the year before, they were actually waving American flags and they taught themselves to sing our national anthem. You look at Cuba right now. They're marching with American flags in Cuba, okay? People that live in communist countries want to come here because they love freedom, okay? People that have freedom given to them on a silver platter, fuck you with it, okay? Could you imagine someone coming here from the Soviet Union and saying fuck the American police? Could you imagine someone coming here from the Soviet Union or China or Cuba and saying, man, I want communism, I need communism real bad, okay? Let's not forget Venezuela, okay? Gabby Franco, my friend, my favorite Top Shot contestant, Gabby Franco, okay? She came from that shithole. I was there in Venezuela before the revolution, 1997, okay? Venezuela is the second most economically rich country in this hemisphere of the planet Earth. And they are starving to death because of communism, okay? I have my leg on my butt. Okay, like I said, boycott. Okay, show these athletes you're not gonna take their bullshit no more. All right, I'm sick of the bullshit. Okay, I would love to take all these fucking athletes that don't like this country, send them all to Cuba, and bring the Cubans here. So bring all the Cubans to America, send all the anti-American athletes to Cuba, and then I'll be happy there. You know, fucking BLM. BLM, they recently unearthed one of their tweets from when Castro died. Rest in power, Fidel Castro. The reason why Fidel Castro stopped murdering black people is because he ran out of black people. Okay? Grow a fucking brain. Boycott.